Hey guys, welcome back. Since I just reviewed the 2014 Mercedes S550, which was all new for 2014, I thought to myself, what other big Luxo barge came out that was all new for 2014? Well, if you guys remember, this came out. This is the all new, at the time, Bentley Flying Spur. Although this costs about twice as much used as that S-Class. Now this car at the time cost about double what an S550 cost back in 2014. Used now, these things are going for around 60, 70 grand, maybe even less if you get one with high mileage. So even used, it costs double from a comparable S-Class, but is it double the car? That's what I want to find out. Just like the S-Class, there is no problem with leg or headroom. This is a very nice place to be. So guys, I've been in a lot of cars over the years, and the first thing that hits you, which not a lot of cars pull off, is just the sweet, intoxicating smell of this leather. Again, not many cars can do this, but this just, even 10 years later, this car has so much leather in it, but it's got like a nice, like, little sweet smell to it. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, that's the first thing that this car just hits you over the head with a hammer with. And I love it. Love the smell of leather. Another thing you notice in this car right away that I didn't notice in the S-Class is just the extra mile that Bentley went to for the hardware. This door handle thing right here to open your door and the surrounding trim. This is all polished steel. This is a very cold, solid, heavy feeling material. The S-Class has plastic that kind of looks like it would be an aluminum, and then when you touch it, it's not as cold and it's light. Can't say the same about this. Same with the window controls here. This is all polished steel. Very dense feeling. Anyway, let's get on with the test. Just shy of 20,000 miles. Not a lot of driving in 10 years. And now for the button test. And now for the final button. Guys, I could talk about this car's interior all night, but unfortunately it's getting dark and I have a holiday party to go to that I am really looking forward to because of reasons. So the fit and finish part we can get out of the way pretty quick. As you guys could hear, most areas, when I say most, I'm talking about 90% of this car's interior was rock solid, not a single sound. However, the other 10% is what's keeping this car from a high score. So a couple of areas did make some squeaking noises, like on the rear doors and a little bit from the center console area. A little bit of the plastics were not great, and even this metal piece made a little bit of a sound. But the rest of the car, completely rock solid. It's almost as if the people who built this car actually care about cars, which I just adore. Not to mention, this is one of the most solid overhead consoles I've ever felt. I don't think I was able to get this to squeak, and believe me guys, I tried. My finger hurts. Just because it wasn't perfect, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 for fit and finish. Still beats Mercedes and a lot of other cars for that matter. But what I really want to talk about is the materials. So let's get to that. Guys, when I hop inside this car, it almost gives me an aphrodisiac feeling. I'm serious. It's that nice. Like, everything you touch in this car is just immense pleasure to my skin. We have full, beautiful, supple, stitched leather everywhere in this car. The dash, the door, the pillars, the headliner, everything is this like perfect, nice leather. It's not a cheap leather. It's not a leather with like mosquito bites in it, because I know Bentley, when they harvest their cows, they keep them away from the mosquitoes. Every single piece of leather in this car is just like awesome. And I'm surprised it's held up this nice for 10 years. The headliner isn't sagging like I've seen in some older cars. This one feels just as nice as it did 10 years ago. I swear, it is so freaking nice. Another Bentley strong suit in here is the wood. So this has just such beautiful British wood. You know, British cars always nail wood, except for Jaguar, of course. They used to have really nice wood in their XJ, but then when they came out with their XF and their XE, they got rid of all the wood, and now I don't know what the hell Jaguar is doing anymore. I guess they're gay now or something. I don't know. But yeah, this car has such beautiful wood trim. All the little metal bits in here, the bright work. It's all real metal, by the way. It's cold and dense. Love it. There is not a lick of cheap black piano plastic veneer in this car. The seats are also beautiful, soft, supple leather with the black stitching right here, the color contrast stitching. That's awesome. These aren't as comfortable as the S-Class seats. They're not quite as like crazy, like over the top comfortable, but they're still pretty good. The only thing is missing is the Bentley logo stitched into the headrest, but you know, it's something I can live without for sure. And then this is a very rare car that has a full stitched leather headliner and sun visor, not to mention, just like in the Aston Martin DBX actually, just beautiful cold metal hardware. Most brands, including Mercedes, are just going to use hard plastic. Nobody's going to know the difference, but I think that's why this car costs twice as much. They just go the extra mile. It's just so ridiculously nice. If you're around cars all the time like I am, you'll notice a little bit of Volkswagen parts bin sharing in here, although that might not necessarily be a bad thing. Take, for instance, this parking brake switch here. It is shared with another Volkswagen product. It's shared with, oh, I don't know, the Bugatti Veyron. These steering column mounted paddle shifters here, yes, they are shared with other Volkswagen products, mostly the Lamborghini Gallardo. Everybody knows the story of the air vents here. When you push and pull, it feels like an analog thing, but it's really electric, but they dampen them to make it feel like you're actually doing something. Everybody knows that. And then yeah, just everything else in here is just so nice, like the window controls. I already mentioned the door handle here. This feels very hard and cold, like this piece could hurt me if it like flies at me or something. Yeah, just everything else is so cold and dense in here. Not to mention, Bentley started the trend of all the knurling, so you have very beautiful knurling touches on a lot of the buttons. Bentley was kind of early to do that, and now a lot of cheap copies. This is probably the best car interior that I've actually been inside of all year. I don't give this award out very often, but I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 for materials. The only way you could possibly do better than this is if you get into a Bentley Mulsanne, which I'll have to check out someday because those have glass buttons. That's crazy. Your guys' final score is going to be 8 out of 10 for fit and finish and 10 out of 10 for materials. Please let me know your thoughts. I would love to drive this car to that Christmas party and crash it, but unfortunately I have to put it away. What is this thing like to drive anyway? Well, I didn't take this on a full test drive. I just kind of went around the block real quick. I didn't want to get in trouble. But initially, this car, as far as how it absorbs bumps, ride noise, ride quality, and whatnot, this feels honestly very, 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 very close to the S550 that I was just in. Takes the bumps very well. It doesn't porpoise so much, not like an older car. Yeah, it's kind of nice, although when going around corners, I do notice that the steering does take a little bit more effort. The S-Class, you could just steer with your pinky finger, and it's super easy. This one has a bit of a heavier, almost a more hydraulic feel to it. I don't know if this actually uses hydraulic power steering or if it's electric like all the other modern cars, but it definitely has some weight to it. Although this car definitely weighs probably a little bit more than the S-Class. This is over 5,000 pounds easily. It's going to handle, I think, a little sharper than the S-Class when you really push it anyway, but I didn't push it. I was driving at low speeds, so can't tell you how acceleration is or anything like that, but yeah, if you're looking for a comfortable ride like the S-Class, this will be fine. This is maybe just a slightly sportier alternative, okay? But yeah, love, love, love this car. I don't know if I'd actually buy one though. I know the early versions of these cars, like the Continental Flying Spur, were not the most reliable. Don't know if they fixed some of that with 2014 onward. Also, depreciation's another thing to think about. You know, this car, being as old as it is, they're very cheap now. They're like 60, 70 grand for a nice example. And just when you think, this is the problem with all Bentleys, just when you think that they lost a lot of value, like, oh, you know what, yeah, this depreciated enough, I think now's the time for me to come scoop it up. They lose a bunch more value after that. They keep surprising you. They keep losing value. Whereas, I don't know. I think the S-Class also still has a little ways to go, though. But it's half the price. Like I said, the S-Class that I was in before was under 30 grand. This one is like double that. So I don't know if it's actually a good play to buy one of these, even used, on the depreciation side. But holy hell, this thing is just nice to sit in. Even without driving it, it does feel more special than the S-Class. It's kind of the age-old question. Should you buy an S-Class or should you buy a Bentley? Well, if money's no object, I'm going to have to go with the Bentley. I just feel way more special in here than the S-Class. But the S-Class is nice, don't get me wrong. Anyway, enough rambling. I got to go to the party. I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.